And good morning, everyone. Welcome to This Day.
Good morning. Today is Wednesday, and it's December 11th. And instead of a national day, we're going to take you back in time to 1967.
Okay, I don't know why, but I guess we'll find out.
Well, you're going to find out.
Well, I will tell you now about our show today. We have Dr. Duna Roof here today with Envision. She is going to be talking about dry eye.
Dry eyes.
And you might think this time of the year, well, yeah, it can happen, especially this time of the year.
Chilly.
Because what happens, it's cool out, and then you come inside and you've got heat.
Right.
So all that. So, you know, a dry eye throughout the year is a possibility. And she's going to talk about how to take care of it, also chronic dry eye. Going to bring you a segment from the Jewelry Box. Also, Theater Guild is here today. And the India Club. Cash is here.
Okay, and our meetings today, we have the special third M&C meeting, which will be at 2 o'clock in the boardroom, and then we have the Mutual 50 Finance Committee meeting, which will be in the Towers boardroom at 2:30. All right, in 1967, the film Who's Coming to Dinner made its debut with much controversy. The film was about, even 50 years ago, in a nation inflamed by prejudice and civil rights, the interracial marriage fable Guess Who's Coming to Dinner played suave and polite at a defining moment when cinema was shifting from studio conventionality to embracing realism. Directed by Stanley Kramer, the film was a mannered Hollywood take on an incendiary topic. Some critics found it bland and patronizing, but it was a commercial hit that epitomized mainstream Hollywood's liberal leanings at the time, when more revolutionary films about social upheaval such as The Graduate and Bonnie and Clyde were being released. Nominated for Best Picture Oscar and starred Sidney Poitier, the two other leads, Katharine Hepburn and Spencer Tracy, the underlying Kramer's belief to teach people to think outside the box and to be daring. And that was said by Gil Robertson, who at the time was the president of the African American Film Critics Association. So, you know, you never know what you're going to learn by the different films that you see. Ken?
Yes, and did you know that Spencer Tracy, this was his last film, he was essentially dying during this movie. He passed away, I think, while this movie was in post-production. And one of the reasons there's so many scenes that he was sitting down is just because he couldn't stand up much anymore. So really interesting backstory to that. Now, our weather for the next several days is going to be fairly mild. A little bit of clouds out there today and possibly tomorrow morning. But really very nice and mild for here we are. The second week of December. Going to warm it up a bit tomorrow and Friday, then take it back down again as we get towards Sunday. But to be honest, there is, even in looking way into next week, there is no rain forecasted. At first there was. It looks like there was a little bit of rain that could have come in next week, but at the moment, that's been taken away. There is rain more in Northern California. In fact, the reason we're getting these clouds is because that's a front that's coming down to our area, but we have a high pressure that is keeping it away, meaning the rain. It's not much of a rain system at all, but really from about Central California on up, they're going to be getting a little bit of sprinkles today and maybe into tomorrow, but not for us. Here we are looking around the area, and our temperatures are pretty much the same. You know, we're going to see maybe 1 or 2 degrees difference over the next several days here and there. Probably a little warmer tomorrow and Friday, then a little bit cooler over the weekend. But overall, just some nice weather throughout. Really beautiful weather. I mean, you know, when you look at the mid to upper 60s and 70 out in Palm Springs this time of the year, that is very nice. All right, we'll be back in just a moment.
I'm Dr. Leif Loberg, and I want to welcome you to our brand new facility here in Laguna Woods. We've been serving the community since 2006, and we're super excited to bring you an awesome team of doctors, Dr. Jackson, Dr. Asaturians, Dr. Vian, myself, here to serve you in our brand new state-of-the-art facility. Call us in the morning and we'll get you in the same day, guaranteed.
Hey Laguna Woods, it's Ken.
And Lisa.
Did you miss an episode of This Day? Not to worry, head over to youtube.com and search Village Television.
Here you can find each episode of This Day and other community programs such as Good Day OC, Discovering Laguna Woods, and much more.
Just click the red subscribe button, then click the bell to be emailed every time we upload a video.
Don't miss out.
And subscribe today.
Hi, I'm Ann Mundell Noel, audiologist and owner of Amazing Hearing. As an audiologist, I have the education and expertise to assess, diagnose, and treat hearing loss. Hearing aids are only one part of the treatment process. The way we have been taught to fit, counsel, and use hearing therapy is what makes us different. Amazing Hearing, audiologists with the education, expertise, and empathy to change how you hear.
Did you know that we are living longer, healthier lives than ever before? And did you know that social interaction, brain stimulation, and exercise improve your quality of life? Did you know the Saddleback College Emeritus Institute offers 200 tuition-free classes to older adults in South Orange County? With over 30-plus locations between Lake Forest and San Clemente, it has never been easier to take advantage of your third act of life. Sign up today.
Envision, the eye doctor's #1 choice.
I have worked with the doctors at Envision for over 20 years. Their experience, state-of-the-art technology, and positive outcomes have earned them my trust in taking care of our mutual patients.
With clear vision, all things are possible. To schedule your appointment today, contact us at 866-599-2740.
Welcome back. We have Dr. Raouf here, who is with Envision. Welcome. Thank you for being with us today.
Thank you for having me.
So dry eyes, I was talking to you earlier. I
Yeah.
suffer from dry eyes, and it seems to be quite popular. So
It is.
give me a background of what dry eyes actually is.
Dry eyes is a big term that describes a lot of conditions that fall in between it that basically cause multiple symptoms. Usually people think of dry eye like you just feel like your eyes are burning, but it actually could be several symptoms. Burning, itching, redness of the eyes, excessive tearing could also be a symptom, and this is one that's usually confusing for people because they come in saying, my eyes are tearing a lot, and we diagnose them with dry eye and they think it doesn't make sense, and it is counterintuitive. But when the eye gets really dry, it just reflects tears and it causes too many tears to fall down the cheek at the wrong time.
Oh, interesting.
A lot of people are impacted by this condition. Unfortunately, over 30 million Americans have some sort or some degree of dry eye.
That is a lot of people.
That's a lot of people.
You know, what are some of the factors of why people suffer from this?
There are many factors. One of them is aging. As we get older, we just don't produce as many tears. So they've done studies where they look at the amount of tear production that we have. And somebody who's 60 years old makes about half as many tears as somebody who's 30 years old. So just naturally, over time, we don't produce as many tears.
Okay.
Another big risk factor is environmental, the air that surrounds us. If it's really dry, for example, in the winter, when you're in a heated environment with ventilation, then that can dry out the eyes as well because it just pulls that fluid, just like how we could get dry skin or dry lips in the winter. And screen time has actually been really implicated with dry eye as well. And I think that's part of the reason why it's becoming more and more common to see dry eye, even in younger folks. When we use screens, which we do most of the time in this day and age, looking at the phone, iPad, or the computer, we just don't blink as much. We tend to stare. And with the eye being open and exposed more, so there's basically more surface area of the eye that's exposed, that evaporates our tears and reduces our eye lubrication.
Okay, all right. And then what's actually happening in the eye? I know we have a picture that shows the eye itself.
It's important to know that there are different components to the tear film. It's not just all liquid. So in this picture over here, I have the actual different layers that you have. And the first one is lipid. So that's actually made out of fat. So it's a lipid layer. And that one is an oil layer that prevents evaporation of the tears. So some folks come in with dry eye not because they're not making enough liquid, but because they're not making enough oil. And whatever liquid they're making evaporates really quickly.
Okay.
So I'll talk more about that in a moment, about
Okay.
what we can do to improve that aspect.
All right.
The second part of the tear film is the liquid one, or the aqueous, that's the water. And that's produced by a small gland that we have near the eye called the lacrimal gland that produces that aqueous layer, that's the tears.
Okay.
Folks who have autoimmune conditions, for instance, rheumatoid arthritis or Sjogren's, can have inflammation of that lacrimal gland and have reduction in the water or the aqueous layer production of their tear film.
Wow, gosh.
Another one is the mucin layer,
Okay.
and that's basically like a mucus layer in the tears that also aids in improving the quality of the tear film so it stays on the surface of the eye longer. So when somebody comes in with dry eye, we do multiple tests in the office, and we try to target exactly which part of the tear film is deficient, so that we can target the therapy appropriately.
All right.
So the first therapy that we typically use, if it's just reduction in the liquid or the aqueous part of the tear film, is to add lubricating eye drops.
Okay.
So those are the ones that you mentioned that a lot of folks use in the morning, and it's an over-the-counter artificial tear that basically just supplements whatever tear that we're producing.
Okay, so what is inside the tear drops that we're using to help replenish?
So those are just artificial emollients, and there are many different kinds, and a lot of times it's just trial and error to find out which one works best for you.
All right.
It's really like using lotion. If somebody has dry skin and they use one kind of lotion, they like it, or they use a different one that they feel works a little bit better, it's like that.
Okay.
It is important to note that there are two kinds of over-the-counter lubricating drops, ones that have preservatives and ones that don't. And the ones that have preservatives obviously have the preservative for a reason, because it comes in a little bottle and the preservative prevents any bacteria from growing in that bottle. But I usually don't recommend using those drops more than 4 times a day.
Okay.
Because if you use them more than 4 times a day, then the preservative can actually cause some toxicity on the surface of the eye.
Oh.
So an alternative, if somebody will be using that lubricating eye drop more than 4 times a day, is to use the preservative-free artificial tear, which is also over the counter, so you don't need a prescription for it. And it comes in these little individual use vials.
Oh, yeah.
So those are the ones that you crack open, use it once, and throw it away.
Okay.
Those don't have preservatives, and you can use them as often as you want, and they will not cause any preservative-related toxicity to the surface of the eye.
Perfect.
Another treatment that we do for dry eye is putting in punctal plugs. So right in the corner of our eyelid, we have a little opening. That opening drains our tears away into our nasal cavity, into our sinuses.
All right.
And I like to make the analogy of, think of the eye like it's a bathtub, and your tears are the water in that bathtub, and there's a drain at the bottom. And we can put a little plug in that in order to stop the fluid from running out of the eye.
Okay.
So there are a couple of different punctal plugs, and just based on the exam we'll determine which one would be better. There are ones made out of collagen, ones made out of silicone. The collagen ones dissolve after a few weeks, whereas the silicone ones stay there forever.
And what would be the point of having one or the other?
The silicone ones don't dissolve.
Right.
So if we know that somebody needs these plugs and they will need them long term, then we do the silicone ones. Whereas if we just want to trial them out and see if somebody will benefit from them, then we'll do the collagen.
Okay, gotcha.
Sometimes based on anatomy, if the silicone ones fall out of the patient's eyelid, then we'll do it with the collagen ones, because they go inside the actual tear duct.
Okay.
So that's a really good treatment, because it basically just allows more fluid to stay on the surface of the eye.
Right, okay.
So both of those treatments that I talked about look at or improve the quantity of the tear film, not so much the quality.
Okay.
So I talked about the different components of the tear film, so there are some things that we can do to improve the quality.
Right, okay.
So also within the eyelid, just like how we have that little opening that drains away our tears, we have tiny oil glands. They're called meibomian glands.
Okay.
And those meibomian glands, there's about 20 to 30 of them in every eyelid. They're right by where the eyelashes are.
Okay.
Those produce oil throughout the day that improves the quality of the tear film.
Okay.
And those oil glands can get clogged Just like how the pores on our face can get clogged, those oil glands can get clogged, and this is a really common condition. And I have a slide in there that actually shows a test that we can do in the office that looks at the difference in somebody's eyelids where the oil glands are open versus when the oil glands are clogged. So on the picture to the left, with the upper eyelid flipped and with the lower lid averted, you'll actually see that these channels, the little white channels, those are open, normal oil glands. And they're filled with oil, and that's why they look nice and full.
Okay.
The image next to it shows severe dropout of these oil glands. So you just see that they're missing. They're truncated, which means that they're shorter, and there's just missing oil. This person is just not having that additional important component that keeps their eyes lubricated.
Okay.
So there is a treatment for this.
Okay.
Usually, as a first line, we recommend doing warm compresses.
Okay.
So getting a washcloth, putting it under warm water, putting that warm washcloth over the closed eyelids, leaving there for about 5 minutes. It really helps the eyes feel better over the long term because it gets that oil loosened up and it gets it flowing onto the surface of the eye.
Can I ask you a question regarding that? Because a man versus a woman, so women wear a lot of makeup around their eyes, mascara and liner. Does that have any effect on the oil glands?
Of course. So makeup can clog those oil glands, so I always encourage my female patients to make sure that they remove their makeup thoroughly in the evening. And another treatment that we can do as well is eyelid scrubs, which basically just means cleaning the eyelids at the end of the day or just once a day with an eyelid cleaner. There are many that are available over the counter and some are prescription that you just use with some water to get rid of any of that debris that can be clogging the oil glands. And it will improve the circulation or the flow of that oil.
Wow.
Another treatment that we do for really stubborn cases where the warm compresses and the lid scrubs are not working is LipiFlow. And LipiFlow is an in-office procedure that takes about 12 minutes to do, where we apply these pads on the eyelids that apply heat and compression, as you can see in that picture over there. And it's a very effective treatment in getting those oil glands opened up and flowing.
Oh, that's interesting. What is it actually using? Is it like a laser?
No, so it's actually a pad that holds the eyelid like a sandwich from the top and the bottom. And it applies heat and compression, mechanical compression, that kind of massages the eyelid.
That's interesting.
It's very, very effective, and it's painless. A lot of patients actually feel like it's therapeutic, and it makes them feel better right away, almost like getting a spa treatment. And it helps the oil glands start flowing.
How often would somebody have to do that? Is it a one-time treatment or maybe a series of treatments?
It varies. A lot of times it ends up being a series of treatments. So I have some patients that come in every 6 to 12 months to get LipiFlow done in order to keep their eyes comfortable. I always give them the analogy too of think of this like getting a thorough dental cleaning at the dentist office, but you still have to brush your teeth every day in order to maintain clean teeth. So every day you still have to do warm compresses, getting rid of the makeup, doing the lid scrubs in order to maintain opening of those oil glands.
Okay, fantastic. Thank you so much for the information. If someone would like additional information, how should they get in contact with you?
So schedule an appointment for a dry eye consultation. And when you come in for that consultation, we will do multiple tests that will measure how much tears you make, the quality of that tear film, and a clinical exam in order to evaluate how dry the eyes are. And then we can come up with a treatment plan to what would be the best effective way to treat this.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much for the information. I really like the ideas that you can go from over-the-counter to the last thing you mentioned, which is perfect. All right, thank you.
Thank you.
Remember, if you want any additional information, you can always contact the number that was on the screen for InVision or speak to your ophthalmologist about the treatments that can be done. We'll be right back.
Hi, I'm Vince Ferragamo. I spent some of my best years as an NFL quarterback, but today I've got a new team, and we're helping seniors who spent their best years fighting for our country, defending our freedom, and informing the nation. Our hometown heroes need help. AgeWell Senior Services is their lifeline. Nonprofit AgeWell can do all of this because you care enough to give. Please join me in supporting AgeWell. Donate today.
Welcome back. Today I have Congresswoman Katie Porter here with us, who's been in Washington, and I know you have a lot to fill us in, so how are you doing?
I'm doing fine. I've been going back and forth now since January 3rd when I was sworn in. That was a very fun day, beginning this responsibility. It was also my 45th birthday, so it was a pretty special event.
Special birthday.
But I fly back and forth most weeks. The commute is long. I think that's one of the hardest parts about doing the job, is just the need to go back and forth and really be working hard in both places for the people of the 45th district.
Right, and you said it was like 10 hours, right?
It's 10 hours door to door. I fly out of our local airport, John Wayne, make a connection, and then when I land in DC, I go straight to the Capitol to vote that first night. Usually we'll be in DC for 2, 3, 4 days, then get back on the airplane and reverse it, come back here into the district and take meetings. So this morning I met with the Orange County Hispanic Chamber of Commerce to learn more about how they're supporting our local businesses. And after I finish up here, I'm going to go read a book at an elementary school and tour some of their tech classrooms.
Oh, that's great. I mean, there's a lot of things that you have to do, not just for seniors, but for everybody here in our district. Is there anything in particular that was hard for you when you first got to Congress?
I mean, I think one of the things that you don't think about is just that the Capitol is a big complex. And so I can't tell you how grateful I am to all of the existing members on both sides of the aisle, Republican or Democrat. I spent a lot of time asking, is this the right fun part of it?
Oh, that's great. So we have our 55 and over community, and I think one of the most important things to seniors is Medicare.
Yep.
And you know, that's coming up. Open enrollment is coming up pretty soon. What are some of the things that you can share with us about what's going on with Medicare?
Well, one of the things we've been working hard to address is the cost of prescription drugs within Medicare. And you know, we hear a lot from constituents about how they're being hit with high prescription drug costs. We have the so-called donut hole in how we're addressing prescription drugs. So there's a new bill being proposed by the Democratic caucus that would reduce and cap the amount that seniors have to pay out of pocket. And so they would have certainty as to the maximum amount that they would have to owe. We're also working to make it possible for Medicare to directly negotiate drug prices. So right now there's a provision that prohibits the government from negotiating drug prices. And that's a real problem, not just for seniors who then end up paying higher prices, but for all of us who are paying taxes to help support the Medicare program. So that's one of our top priorities when I head back to Washington next week.
Okay, and then, so obviously prescription drugs, and then what about you know, just going to the doctor and things like that? Are things still being, are they being covered or are they being denied?
Well, one of the things we're working on is making sure that all of people who are on Medicare have choices, that they can go to the doctors that they prefer, and also working to make sure that reimbursement rates are sufficient to keep people taking Medicare. I know that there are certain areas, for example, mental health, where a lot of the psychiatrists or psychologists don't take Medicare, and this leaves seniors paying out of pocket for much needed health care. So I'm part of the mental health caucus, and that's one of the things that we're looking at, is how do we make sure that providers are getting reimbursed at a fair rate so that people can keep their preferred doctors and continue to get that continuity of care as they move from private insurance into the Medicare system.
Oh, that would be great. All right, good. And then, gosh, you know, I'm going to be interviewing a group that helps prevent fraud with Medicare, and now there's frightening things that are happening with Medicare where they can get the number and they can charge things. What are some things that you're doing about that?
Well, Medicare fraud really hurts us all. It obviously hurts the seniors, but it also is ultimately about abusing the taxpayer system. We all contribute to the Medicare system, and we're all counting on it to be there for us. And so I fought for additional funding for an existing program that we have that helps identify and combat fraud in the Medicare system. And so I'm really hopeful that when we see the Senate come back with their version of the appropriations bill, that this is something that we can put more resources into. So a little bit of money spent here in preventing Medicare fraud actually saves a lot of taxpayer dollars from being abused on the back end. So I'm excited about that amendment.
And so that is on a federal level?
That's on a federal level, absolutely.
Okay. All right. What are some things that you think seniors could do to help prevent that here?
Yeah, so one of the things I'll just encourage anyone to do, whether it's a fraud-related issue or any kind of problem with accessing their Medicare benefits, is to reach out to our office. So we have our main offices in Irvine, and we have folks who work in the district who are happy to come and do roundtables or do presentations. But if you're having problems with your Medicare benefits, if you suspect Medicare fraud, you can call our office office, and we're happy to help assist you, try to make an appropriate referral, for instance, to the Inspector General if necessary. So I just encourage people who need help with any federal agency, whether it's veterans benefits, Medicare, to reach out. We just welcomed, today I just did a video introducing the constituents to our new Wounded Warrior Fellow.
Oh, great.
So I'm really excited to welcome him to the district. It's a national program, bipartisan, to help people who have been honorably discharged after 5 years of active duty to be able to get experience working in Congress. So we in the 45th District are really honored to be one of the areas that was chosen to host this Wounded Warrior Fellow. So particularly for those out there who are struggling to access VA health care, I encourage them to also call our office for help.
Oh, that's great. Now, if they can also go to your website, and that would have all the information too. And that's
absolutely
porter.house.gov, right?
Porter.house.gov, and there you can sign up for a newsletter if you'd like to receive updates and information. I recently sent out a newsletter about what we're doing with higher education. We did one last month about our work on talking to environmentalists here in the district, including a lot of wonderful older Americans and seniors who in their time are working on conservation projects, protecting wildlife, and making sure that our, their kids and their grandkids are going to be able to enjoy the beauty here in Orange County.
Nice, that's great. I know we talked about the bills. Run some statistics by me regarding some healthcare costs. You talk a little bit about the the tax deductions that are maybe not offsetting families. What do they need to?
So one of the things that changed recently in our tax code, President Trump proposed a tax bill. It was passed into law, and a couple of changes have really been hitting hard here locally. One of them of particular importance to seniors. So one of the changes is that there's a cap now on the amount of state and local tax that you can deduct from your federal tax. So that cap is $10,000. For a lot of us, because of the cost of our homes, because of our local taxes, they hit that cap. So we held a tax town hall in April, got stories from folks around the district telling us what happened to your taxes this year. Did that deduction cause you to pay a higher tax bill than before? And this is an issue of tax fairness. This is falling very hard on California.
Exactly.
So that's something I'm leading the charge, bipartisan basis, cooperating across the aisle with others to try to repeal that change. In terms of seniors, one of the things that happened in the new tax law is that it raises the threshold of how much of your income has to be paid to medical expenses before you can take a deduction for those medical costs. So the previous threshold was 7.5%. If 7.5% of your income was being spent on medical bills, we said, wow, this person's being really cost burdened. We want to help them a little bit with their tax bill. The President Trump's tax law raises that amount to 10% of your income. For about 800,000 Americans, that's going to prevent them from taking this tax deduction. And at a time when healthcare costs are such a struggle for families, we need to be making it easier for families to get help with paying for medical costs, not making it harder. So I have a bill that would make permanent that 7.5% threshold, which again is going to provide some tax benefits for families who are dealing with high healthcare costs.
Okay, all right, thank you. That's good information. And then AARP, what is this the bill that they're endorsing, or is there a different one?
Yep, no, so we have a great support from senior organizations for this bill. We also have a bill that we've been working on to help with home care costs. So as people begin to age, their needs change. A lot of folks have made contributions over the years to what are called health savings accounts, or HSAs. And there's a list of expenses that you can use, qualified expenses, your HSA for. I have a bipartisan bill, again cooperating with a Republican, that would make it possible for people to use their hard-saved HSA dollars to pay for home care as they age. So rather than letting those dollars just sit in an account, we're trying to free them up so people can use their own money to meet their medical needs. So I'm very hopeful, because that's a bipartisan bill, I'm hopeful we're going to be able to bring that into law here in the upcoming months.
So when you say home care, are we talking about nurses or assistants?
Nurse visits, potentially kinds of hospice care, physical therapy that might be better performed in the home, for instance, for patients who may not be able to travel easily. And so really the goal of this health savings account is to let people plan for their medical needs in the future. And of course, home care is part of that. And so if people are better cared for with better outcomes in the home, they should be able to use their accounts to pay for that.
I think that's a great one, because sometimes you don't always know what's covered under the HSA. I mean, you have lists, but they're a little vague.
They're vague and they change. And so this is an effort to kind of expand and match people's needs to the parameters of the program.
Now, before we came on, we were talking a little bit about the voting system and how it's going to change. Can you give us some insight into that?
Yeah, we're so fortunate here in Orange County to have an amazing registrar of voters. I know he's come on the channel many times to talk about how to vote. And so this year we're going to see some changes. And these changes are really designed to do two things, both of which I think are terrific. One is to reduce the costs of the voting system. So we, like every jurisdiction, we need to keep making improvements to ensure the security and safety, integrity of our voting system. And then the other is to make it easier for people to vote, including people who maybe can't drive, people who work different shift schedules, just can't get there 9 to 5 on election day. So we're going to be moving to a system of voting centers and also much increased participation by vote by mail. So everyone's going to be getting a vote by mail ballot. And they can return that if it's easier for them than going in person. So I just encourage everyone to make sure they're registered to vote. You can go to the Orange County Register of Voters website, double check your registration, because our primary elections here in California are moved way up. So March 3rd, California, this area, Orange County, is going to be going to the ballot box, and I hope to see everybody taking part in that important civic responsibility.
All right, well, thank you very much. It was very nice to see you.
So much.
And have a great time in Washington and the rest of your weekend here in Orange County.
Thank you so much.
All right. And remember that, as Katie mentioned, you definitely need to make sure that you register to vote so you can be a part of the primary coming up in March. We'll be right back after this.
Come to the world premiere of Oi, It's Christmas. Sing along with the Hallmark Holiday Band. Hear the stories behind some of your favorite holiday tunes. Only one performance, Sunday, December 15th at 2 p.m. Tickets are on sale now at the Performing Arts Center. $10 and $12 each. See you there.
Welcome back. Well, we have the Theater Guild here. We have Sandra O'Connor and Barbara Powell, who are here to tell us all about a lot of things that are coming up.
We got a lot.
And of course, we just saw the commercial for this weekend's activity. So tell us a little about, what is it? Oi, it's Christmas.
Oi, it's
Oi,
Christmas.
it's Christmas.
You know, like soup and sandwich, oi and Christmas. It goes together. Anyway, it's a holiday sing-along.
Okay.
And we call it Ken Burns Meets Crowd Karaoke. We're going to have a sing-along with the holiday classics that everyone knows and loves, the music that you like to shop by. And the words will be on the screen, so if you don't know the words, you'll be able to sing along.
Okay.
We have a live band, nine-piece band, and it's going to be a lot of fun.
Now, that's this Sunday.
That is this Sunday at 2 o'clock.
At 2 o'clock.
One show only.
That's it.
One show.
And there's tickets?
Tickets are on sale at Performing Arts Center, $10 and $12.
And that depends on where you sit as to what the price is, right?
10 for the orchestra, and then balconies.
Okay.
Is 10. All the seats in the balcony.
Well, that's something fun to do, right?
It's rated PG, you know, family friendly.
Okay.
And you can see the guys up there. There's a little 10-year-old who plays the drums.
Oh.
Yeah, and we have the Grinch. That's Paul Kratzer. He's going to be the Grinch. And yeah, it's going to be a lot of fun.
That'll be super fun.
We hope everybody comes. It's going to be a
right
feel-good.
Now, ticket sales are good.
Yeah.
Good, are they? Yeah. Okay, fantastic.
It's kind of a feel-good day that you can bring your family to.
That's awesome. All right, perfect. All right, now, Sandra, you have some news for us.
Yeah.
Let's have you share the news.
Oh, about the change in the board.
Change,
the
yes.
change. The change is good. Okay. I've been fortunate to be president of Theater Guild for 2 years, but I think any organization that wants to be vital needs to change the people who are on their boards or whatever to keep revitalizing. So we have a new board, some who have stayed on, some that are new, and Estelle D'Annunzio will be president this next year.
Okay.
And everyone's aware of it because we announced it actually in November.
Right. Okay.
So, but I think the thing I just wanted to reflect on real briefly is our theme that we've had for the 2 years of Involve and Evolve, and it's turned out to be really successful in getting more and more people involved in Theater Guild and instead of just coming to watch. You know?
Sure.
So we've done a lot of programs that have allowed them to do that. And I thought it was so funny. We had this group of women that were in Chasing Dreams, and they were called the Entourage, and they all said they only did it because they didn't have any lines. And now they're all involved more and doing more things. And actually, we're in another show where they had lines.
So, and they were wonderful.
Yes.
Yeah.
And so, and I told him at the time, I said, excuse me, I said, wait and see. Don't say that so much yet.
Right.
But anyway, we're really happy with that aspect of more involvement of the members in doing things at our meetings, because we make those meetings such that they can do it if they want to.
Right. Well, I remember the one activity that you had that really brought a lot of people forward was where they did the readings of their own stories, which I thought was really, really interesting.
The I Am Me First project, yes, that was really good.
That was really good. So speaking of the meeting, so you have a meeting coming up December 19th. Let's talk a little bit about the meeting.
Right. It's really centered on peace. That's the theme of the meeting. And we're going to have readings and songs, and the Village Folk, which is a folk and folk era band that actually is in the Village and has been playing a lot in the Village over the last couple of years. They're going to be playing also.
Okay.
And so there will be members involved in doing all of this, you know, so that'll be the goal again, to get the members involved.
Sure.
But we're going to focus it on peace. And there'll be peace readings, a couple by Maya Angelou, and some other songs that are appropriate.
That sounds great.
So it should be good. It's December 19th, and it's at Clubhouse 7, and it starts at 7.
Okay, fantastic. Now, Barbara, you guys are holding auditions.
Back to me.
Back to you, Barbara.
Back to Barbara.
Take it away, Barbara.
Okay.
So auditions.
Auditions. So Terry Fizet and I wrote Grandparents' Revenge a few years ago. And before that, she wrote Love, Sex, and Laguna Woods Village.
All right.
Now, Terry Fizet is the one who has ALS, and she has progressed to not having use of her hands anymore to type. So she now types with eye movement.
Oh, no kidding.
Yeah, and so when we did Grandparents' Revenge, she was still able to type, but just with one finger.
Yeah.
And we said at the time, she said, I got one more show in me. That was 2 years ago. So we said, okay, great. You got one more show in you. Let's do it. Well, now she has one more show in her. And
that is awesome.
Yeah, so we're teaming again to write the show. It's called Love, Sex, and the Big City. And it's set in the Barbizon Hotel in New York City, where there were a lot of famous females. It was a women's only hotel.
Okay.
In the 20s, if you remember anything about history, women needed chaperones to be anywhere.
Okay.
So to be in the big city, to go to Miss Porter's secretarial school or to be on Broadway, the parents wouldn't allow them to come unless they were in a safe environment. And so that was the Barbizon Hotel.
Oh.
So we have made up fictional characters. I mean, real people there were Grace Kelly, Joan Crawford, all these, Cloris Leachman. We've created fictional characters and the stories of their loves and their careers. So it's more of a story-driven musical. There will be song and dance.
That sounds great.
Yeah.
How interesting. I actually didn't know anything about that.
Right. And it's true, in 2006 it went condo. But there were still, the thoroughly modern Millie, they called them the Millies. Some of them were still there at the time.
Wow.
Really old. Because of rent control, they couldn't get rid of them.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, so there's a fascinating history there, and we're going to bring in a lot of elements from that.
That sounds really good.
Yeah.
Now, so auditions are January 6th and 7th.
Yes.
What are you looking for?
We're looking for talent.
Yes. To play the main characters you just mentioned?
Yeah, we have 5 main female characters,
All right.
and then we have the fellas who play their loves. We've got entourage people.
We've
got we'll have
cast of how many do you think?
I'm praying for 25. I always say that, and it always ends up 40, and then I'm and I'm saying I'll never do it again. But then
but
here
you
I am.
are.
Jinx Yomiyako. Yeah. So we would like to see some new faces if we can, and we've had some new people come out recently. And
Good.
So we're hoping.
Well, there's
for
new
that.
people moving in all the time, so
yeah.
hopefully they see you here and see your
because
flyers.
They
and
all watch ThisDay.
They do. They do. So perfect.
They should know.
They should know.
Yeah, we'll have flyers, and they can contact me. My number is on the flyer.
Okay,
and,
perfect. Perfect.
Email me.
Sounds good. And then you have one last thing, January 16th, which is a membership appreciation meeting.
Yes.
And what's that
We do
one?
that each year, and we provide a very nice dinner for the members, and it is our way of saying we appreciate them,
Yes.
right? So you need to be a 2020 member to be invited, and we're already taking a lot of reservations.
Okay.
But we'll have a program, and we're going to do a retrospective of the last 2 years.
Okay.
And we're going to create, slides and things to show what we've done in the last 2 years.
Okay.
And then there'll be other events going on in the entertainment area, meaning the board is going to do a little thing about stuff they do.
All right.
And so that's usually always well received by the members, but they always tell us, keep your day job. So.
Oh, yeah. And then you're going to have a dinner and piano music with
Yes. Oh, thank you for reminding me about the pianist, because that was sort of a later addition to this, and we're real pleased about that. And he wants to be introduced to the village, so he's going to be doing that for us and letting us all enjoy his music during dinner.
Perfect. Well, good luck to you, and sounds great. And thank you. You've been a fantastic president.
Well, thank you.
It's been nice to have you on and learn all about the things that you guys are
Sandy's
doing.
been very energetic and really included a lot of people and got a lot of new energy. So
good, and that'll continue.
Yeah.
I know it will.
Yeah.
I know it will.
All right. Well, thank you, ladies.
All right. Thank you.
And remember, if you want additional information about this, you can always contact the Theater Guild or Barbara Powell. And don't forget that this weekend is the Oi, It's Christmas. We'll be right back.
In a land of hopes and dreams lived a luxury lifestyle consultant with spectacular taste. One day he thought, I'll show lottery winners how to live like a millionaire.
I'm like gonna cry. Like, this is beautiful.
Pinch me. He scoured the land looking for the home of their dreams, which he slayed. So the families could live in plenty and live fabulously ever after.
All new My Lottery Dream Home, Friday night at 9 on HGTV.
Omni Golf is accepting golfers for their beta demo program. You can be one of the first to try the only golf clubs made using true nanotechnology, the Omni Raider Golf Set. Receive a custom-fitted full set of Omni Raiders to demo for 60 days at no net cost to you. Just fill out a survey and tell us how you like the clubs at the end of your 60-day demo, and you keep the driver. So call 800-OMNI-150 for details. That's 800-666-4150. Don't wait. Call 800-666-4150 now.
At our new Memorial Wave Imaging Center in Laguna Woods, formerly Orange County Diagnostics, you can expect the same precise imaging, multiple modalities for your imaging needs, and the same friendly staff with medical providers like Dr. Syed Sharakni. The Laguna Woods Transportation Service offers convenient access right to our door, and we continue to provide the care and compassion that you expect from our new Wave Laguna Woods location.
Most real estate agents stick to the 3 Ps of marketing. They place it on the MLS, they put up a sign, and pray that it sells. Laguna Premier Realty takes a different approach to marketing your home. From professional and high-quality photos to high-definition video, single property websites, and 3D virtual tours. We will make your property stand out and, most importantly, sell. So whether you are looking to list your current home or find your dream home in the village, Laguna Premier Realty is here to help.
Hi, I'm Sharon. I am so pleased to welcome you to JTV. We're a 24/7 home shopping network focused exclusively on jewelry and gemstones. And because we believe every woman deserves to be lifted up, we love to help her sparkle, keep her informed, and make her smile. Our viewer is passionate about jewelry and gemstones, and we share her passion. Because of that, she keeps coming back, making us one of the top retailers in the United States. We sell extraordinary products at extraordinary prices. Welcome to JTV.
Well, coming up next week, December 19th, the India Club will be having their Christmas event called Welcoming Christmas. I'd like to welcome Cash Agrakar here today of the India Club, and great to have you here, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Great fun coming up next week.
Yes, next week.
Yeah.
India Club is really made out of not just Indians, but the objective of our club is to bring Indian culture, Indian food, Indian this and Indian that. And every year we have pretty good audience.
Yeah.
At least 6 times a year so we meet. And this time we decided, hey, we'll do something that our community is more involved in, Christmas.
You're right, yeah.
So we decided to bring Sunshine Ludi, Sunshine Performance, who's a very popular club in our community, to do us Christmas songs and holiday songs for like an hour. And after that, we are going to have ethnic but non-Indian surprise food.
Okay.
and after the food, we're going to show an excellent slide presentation of India, architectural wonders in India. And the gentleman who is presenting it is excellent photographer. He has done wonders.
Yeah.
And he has compiled slides together for like 20 to 30 minutes. And he says, Taj Mahal, everybody knows, but what I'm going to show you is 10 times better than Taj Mahal and surprised wonders.
That'll be very nice.
Like he says, there's one temple that is all carved out of one rock. Whole big temple, carved out of one whole rock, And he has himself taken these pictures. He does an excellent narration with that slideshow.
Yeah, and this is Nino, right? Nino Mohan.
Mohan.
Yeah, he's been on our program before.
He's been on our
Doesn't he
program.
also set up travel?
Yes.
Yeah.
He used to be a travel person.
Yes.
Yeah. And it's a very interesting program. Anybody wants to come, we have already, it's a small hall this time. We have like 100 seating capacity. And we already have 84 people signed up. So I said, since we have pre-arranged morning this morning, I said, I'll come and talk about it. We still need like 16 more people. Come on down. Everybody will have fun.
Yeah, and this is going to be $10 or $15, $10 for members, $15 for guests.
Members, 15 for...
And like you said, there's going to be a dinner there of all different kinds of things.
Dinner included.
Okay.
Yeah.
And it'll be a lot of fun.
And we also have a raffle, and we will win maybe up to $25 worth of things.
Very good.
So, yeah.
Now, what is it normally this time of the year in India? Do they celebrate any form of Christmas?
I went to a Catholic school myself in India, and I used to go even Christmas caroling.
Yeah.
With them. So, yeah, we do celebrate. One of my best friend was Catholic.
Okay. So this kind of
India
all
is a very
fits in.
secular country. We love people. We love entertainment. We love music.
Well, that I know. Yes.
We have some great things. And our village, we are trying to introduce what India is.
Yeah.
And that's we like peace and harmony.
And you mentioned it's food from all different cultures? Is that what it's going to be?
Yes, mostly. But today, this time, we do not have any Indian.
Oh, okay. At all?
We still will have non-vegetarian and vegetarian, so choice is yours.
Yeah. That'll be fun.
The idea is to have food and enjoy and entertain.
Good music and fun. And like I said, we've had Nino on before, and excellent photographer and very knowledgeable about all parts of India, all the different regions and everything. So.
In fact, he even does these for other countries because he has traveled around.
Yeah.
I would say one of the most traveled person I know.
Very good. A lot of fun.
And everybody's welcome. Please come.
People can email you. We've got
3
emails on there, and phone numbers. So we'll put that on the screen and choose the one you want. And I would, if you want to go, I would sign up now because
please.
It's going to fill up.
As we speak, in fact, this morning I entered 3 more names. To make a total of 84. And it's well worth it.
Yeah, be a lot of fun.
A lot of fun, and we want to be a part of the community. We want to show the community what India is and what our culture is. And be part of the community.
Hey, you folks are very active. Like you said, several times a year, you do different things coming up. So again, this is next week, December 19th at 5:30 at night to about 9:30 over at the Performing Arts Center in Dining Room 2. And it's $10 or $15, and it's going to be a lot of fun.
Yes.
Sign up for it.
And if we get 100 RSVPs, we're going to close the doors in the sense, you know. We want enough people, but not overcrowd.
Right, yeah. Enough to have a little fun. Yes. Okay, very good.
Thank you so
Cash,
much for
always
the
good to see you, and we'll be right back.
Thank you.
There's a certain feeling you get around the holidays, a time of year to reflect on all that is well. There's also a certain feeling you get from giving back to those less fortunate. It's a feeling that comes from the heart when you give back not because you have to, because you want to. It's a personal way of paying it forward. That feeling is amazing.
South County Lexus wishes you and your family an amazing holiday season.
I have a brilliant smile because of brilliant dentistry. I love her expertise, her knowledge, her wisdom, and most of all, her patience with me.
We take the extra time to understand our patients' special needs and always perform the highest quality dental work at affordable prices in a relaxing and friendly environment. We perform everything from cleaning all the way to implant and sinus surgeries all under one roof. Stop in or call and experience the brilliant smile difference.
Did you know that the Laguna Hills Lodge was originally built as a place for relatives or friends to stay when they were visiting? In 1968, Laguna Woods' residents built the first 2 buildings of the lodge because they wanted a place close by for visitors to stay. Since then, the lodge has become the spare bedroom for the Laguna Woods' residents. The lodge has received the TripAdvisor Award of Excellence 8 years in a row. We invite you to stay in one of our recently remodeled garden rooms and take advantage of a special offer for Laguna Woods' residents, family, and friends.
You want me to help put you in the state attorney general's office? I do. There's something that I need in return. Name it. Tailor Mason. I want them in a cell.
Take them out.
This I do.
Get with it, people. Have fun storming the castle.
New episodes, only on Showtime.
Our Friday movie is called Blinded by the Light, and that will be airing, like I said, Friday, December 13th at 2 and 7 p.m. And it is, in 1987, is Briton Javed Khan, who is a British Pakistan teenager from a strict family who learns to live his life, understand his family, and find his own voice through the music of American rock star Bruce Springsteen, which I think is great music, super funny. Billy Barrett, Ronak Singh, Shada Burgess, and Vivek Kalra all star in this movie, and it's a comedy, drama, and of course music. And you were chuckling there for a minute.
Yeah, it's just like, I haven't seen this movie, I've seen parts of it in trailers. It just looks like a very fun movie.
Yeah, it does. It looks good. So again, that'll be on Friday, December 13th at 2 and 7 p.m.
Yeah, very good movie. Coming up on Monday is a drama and action thriller called The Angel Has Fallen, and I don't know too much about this. I don't know if there's if this is like a sequel to a similar movie, but well, it must be, because it says after the events of the previous film, Secret Service agent Mike Banning finds himself framed for an assassination attempt on the president. Pursued by his own agency and the FBI, Banning races to clear his name and uncover the real terrorist threat which has set its sights on Air Force One. Morgan Freeman is in this. Gerald Butler, he plays the title character, Mike Banning. Frederick Schmidt, Danny Houston, really a good cast. And as I said, obviously it's a sequel to the first movie.
Wow.
So I'm not familiar with this.
I've seen the first one, but I haven't seen the second one.
Yeah.
This one looks intense.
Yeah, it does. Yeah,
Well,
very much so.
cool.
Kind
All
of
right.
James Bondish in a way, right?
Yeah, well, you know, all these movies kind of are.
Yeah.
You had to start somewhere.
So that'll be Monday,
That looks
and that'll
good.
be at 2 at 2 o'clock and at 6 o'clock. So good action thriller movie.
Well, excellent. Well, you guys just talked about the India Club today.
Yeah.
So that's December 19th. What else do we have?
Well, we want to remind people that if you are want to get out and about for New Year's Eve, the Recreation Department is having their celebrity series and their finale. Rick Nelson was remembered by his sons, the Nelson sons, which I said the other day, remember they used to be called the Nelson twins in the 80s.
Right, well, yeah.
But obviously they're going to be singing probably some of their own music, but songs of their father for sure. It'll be Tuesday, obviously, December 31st, because I said New Year's Eve. Now, there's 2 shows, 8 and 8:30, and there's 3 price points, $25, $30, and $45. $45 is for VIP tickets, meaning there'll be, there's usually kind of a gathering, a little cocktail party.
Yeah.
I think you get to meet them. Call Recreation on the times for that one, because usually the VIP is just one of the performances.
Right,
so.
it's 6 and 8:30.
Oh, yeah, sorry.
I think you said 8 and 8:30, so it's 6 o'clock and 8:30.
Yeah, 8 and 8:30, that would be a short show.
A short show.
We're here, bye-bye. But that's what a good performance.
Yeah, that sounds great, good.
Great music.
All right, well, remind us how lovely our weather is going to be.
It really is. We're going to have a little bit of clouds today out there, scattered clouds, maybe tomorrow, but overall we have mild weather for the next several days, way into next week, as a matter of fact. Temperatures might warm up tomorrow and Friday by a few degrees and go back down on the weekend, but just overall, pleasant, just really nice weather. Yeah.
Looks beautiful, not too hot.
Not too hot.
All right, tomorrow we have something very exciting. Jewelry, yay, the jewelry box is going to be here, and they're going to bring some lovely baubles and beautiful items that you can get. And then remember, they also buy jewelry too, so we're going to talk about that. And then we also have the OC Grand Jury coming in, so what are they going to talk about?
Well, every year they recruit people to be on the OC Grand Jury. So we're getting the judge on. This particular judge oversees the grand jury.
I see.
Talk about if you're interested in it, because there is a bit of a process to go through an application and think about an interview you and all that kind of stuff. So that's why they're coming on now, even though the new grand jury is not seated till, I think, in the spring or something. I'm not sure the exact date. But the process takes quite a while.
All right, well, perfect.
Yeah.
Well, don't forget to join us tomorrow. Have a great day in the village, and we'll see you later.
Bye-bye.